what is this tea? And once I explained to her, I said, well, this I drink for my hormones because I've got PCOS. So I said to her, no, I drink this for my hormones. It helps me quite a lot. And then she said, no, make me something because I've got period pains, bad period pains. So then I made her the steaming blend. And she went home and she steamed, and it was actually very shocking. When her next period came, it just came. We were at work. She went to the loo thinking that maybe she just needs to visit the ladies, and she came out shocked, and she called me and she said, listen, it's that time.
No pain, nothing.
No pain, nothing.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, Life with Unomsa Dlasa. Today I'm joined by this phenomenal woman, Lebo. Lebo is the owner and founder of WOMBHERBALS. She will be sharing her story on how she started the business. Lebo, welcome to my channel.
Thank you so much. I'm good, thanks, and you?
Who is Lebo? Please share with us who is Lebo. And I'm sure a lot of people would like to know who is this Lebo who has helped so many women.
Lebo is a mom. She's a wife. She's a mom of 3 boys. So I come from Bloemfontein. We now reside here in Krugersdorp. Yeah, that's me. That's somebody who really loves just interacting with women and helping women and talking about those things that we don't like talking about.
Oh, those uncomfortable ones.
Yes.
But killing our society.
Killing everyone. Those are the things that we deal with. We really go into healing and deep into healing, even where we work with men as well. So yes, that's Lebo.
And yeah, I like the fact that you are saying you also work with men. I believe you also have products for men.
Yes.
And the sad part is when there is an infertility problem, it's always assumed it's the woman who has an issue.
Yes.
Do you understand? And not knowing good men can also be infertile. And again, the other sad part is when you get married, you are expected to have a child. Do you understand? You know, when God created Eve for Adam, God didn't say it is not good for a man not to have children. I'm gonna bring in Eve so you can have children. He said it is not good for a man to be alone. I'm gonna bring you a helper. Yet now the society and people, they are making it like God said, I'm gonna bring you a child bearer.
Yes.
Do you understand? And that's not the case. Do you understand? People need to understand that. But anyway, we can talk for days. And why WOMBHERBALS? Why did you decide to start this?
WOMBHERBALS it was planned by the divine. Let me explain why I'm saying that. We started off with a lady that I was working with who had period pains. And she said to me, listen, I've got period pains. Is there anything that you know about? I've tried everything.
Yes.
I've tried every tablet that's out there. Can you maybe just make me something that will make me feel better?
Okay, so, sorry to disturb. Why did she ask you if you can make her something?
Because I was always drinking tea. And then she eventually said, what is this tea? And once I explained to her, I said, well, this I drink for my hormones because I've got PCOS. So I said to her, no, I drink this for my hormones. It helps me quite a lot. And then she said, no, make me something because I've got period pains, bad period pains. So then I made her the steaming blend. And she went home and she steamed, and it was actually very shocking. When her next period came, it just came. We were at work. She went to the loo thinking that maybe she just needs to visit the ladies, and she came out shocked, and she called me and she said, listen, it's that time.
No pain, nothing.
No pain, nothing. That's when I realized there's something there. You know, growing up, my grandmother used to tell my mom and my aunts to do it. Even close to her time of death, there was this conversation she had with my aunt, and it always lingered in the back of my mind. You know, steaming. And now that I was married, struggling with period pains, having PCOS, that was creeping up on me a bit. And I thought to myself, maybe let's start doing this. So now when you start steaming and the next person says, but I want it, the third person wants a label, They want a little sticker. They want a name. They want, what is this? Where do you get it? What is it? And that's when my husband comes in and he says, but why don't you just make these products for other women?
Exactly, and make it official.
Make it official. And we had long been, doing things on Facebook.
Okay.
My husband's side. When it comes to business, he was very Facebook related. So I said to him, okay, I'll come up with a name. And the one thing that I just couldn't get away from was womb herbals, because we were dealing with womb problems, womb issues.
Exactly.
And I'm using every kind of herb you can think of. We really just, we are so embedded in herbals, in herbs, that I didn't want to change the name and make it something else.
Exactly.
So it ended up being WOMBHERBALS. And that's how we started, and it grew from there like a wildfire.
Yeah, but now there are many people who are doing this. What makes you different from them?
What makes us different is we make custom blends. So it's not just one blend that we use. We have different blends for ladies that have got fibroids, endometriosis. If you come to me and you say, I have this type of condition, so I'm not sure that this is for me, I can tweak it and change it. We work with herbs, so we know herbs. I'm a herbal specialist, basically. You cannot just pick anything and combine anything and poof, it works. Each and every herb has got its own benefits. It's got its own, things that it does in the body and things that it changes chemically, that they change in our bodies. So I took time to do this. So we took time, spent a lot of time studying on what can help ladies, what can work, and going back to a lot of things that we used growing up. My mom was amazing. She could pick up the problems that I had because of the pain that I had when my period came. I had my period at 12 years. It wasn't easy. So I became that girl. When your period comes, you miss days of school, and you become that girl that everybody talks about, that misses a few days every month from school. And why is she so special? What's wrong with her period?
Why were you missing days?
I was missing days because of pain.
Oh.
So when it came out with clots. It came out dark. So I wouldn't go to school. The pain would be so bad that I would get Nurofen shots. So my mom started saying, I'm going to make you things to drink. I'm going to make you things. And she didn't go deep into steaming, but she made me things that I could drink. And I would literally sit on the loo. The clots would just come out. So I had to go back to when I was growing up. What were they doing, these ladies in the house? So that's, yes. And it was at such a fertile time. That's why everybody picked it up. And everybody started making their own steaming products, and everybody started selling, because the time was fertile. It was time for ladies to literally go back and say, but our issues, how did our mothers and our foremothers handle these period issues and these womb issues? So yes,
I know about steaming because I remember I've always had older friends. I was still in high school, so all my friends were already working. I remember one of my friends, she would steam using garlic. And I didn't understand why she's using garlic.
Yes, even in the times of my mom, they were using onions and garlic.
Mix it all together.
They mix it together and steam. And so eventually I started talking to more ladies while having the page. We were doing our own deliveries. So I got to meet a lot of ladies that said, but remember, my grandmother used to do this with onions. So that works, but only for specific things. So we then started looking into what can we do to help the ladies. You get somebody who steams and goes, but I've been using this for a few months, I still have period pain. That person needs something stronger than what everybody else is getting.
So you custom make for each person, because
each person, whatever that you have as a need, we can make something for you, whether it's a tea, whether it's the steaming herbs, whether we make you whatever, literally whatever. An oil, we'll make an oil. If we have to put it in beauty products, we'll put it in beauty products so that you can get the benefit. We do everything. Yes.
And I think it's very important for people, before they buy, they know their source, where they're buying from, because there are a lot of people who buy from Lebo and go and mix it with other things because they're chasing money. So with you it's different. With you it was more of helping the ladies because you've been through there, you understand what they're going through.
And I think that's the one thing that really propelled everything to go as fast as it did, because it wasn't, we didn't just make something because we needed to make money. We made a product really just genuinely wanting to help. And well, everybody else they've got their own reasons why they're mixing, but consumers need to be careful, and they need to really go deep into this. When did you start selling this? Why did you start selling? You've got every right to ask someone, why did you start selling this? And I think that's something that a lot of people also don't understand, that if somebody's heart is not in something, they're not really doing it with everything they have to help you. It's just a quick thing because I can make a quick buck. So even if you have problems later on and say, but I've steamed and now I'm bleeding, I've steamed and now I don't see my periods, they've completely disappeared. You need to go back to that person and say, but how did you mix this? Why did you do this in this way? Do you know what you're doing? So we've really put a lot of time in and hard work into the blends that we have, and we know what we're doing, and we know how to deal with whatever that will happen and that will change in your body after steaming. So yes, that's what makes us different. We're not just I want a quick buck.
You're not chasing money.
You know, we're not chasing money. We're not just going to make something quickly or throw something together just so that we can
make money.
We can make money. It's more than that.
Exactly. And I always say, Ndoba, when you do something that you love and close to your heart, and you're not chasing money, money will chase you. That's what happened with you.
Yes.
Because you were doing it to help ladies, and then you started having this big business that you didn't think of when you started off, I assume.
Yes. So what happened with us, it was, I don't know how to explain it. It was really just like a wave that just came over us, because we went from helping these 5 clients to them telling their sisters, their friends, their family, whatever next lady comes, hey, listen, if you're struggling with this, I've got something that helps me. So I then got people WhatsApping me, phoning me, let's do this, let's meet, I need this, I have this problem, I have that problem. And then my husband said, okay, now let's really focus on this Facebook thing. So we moved then from using the marketplace into starting a group, a page where everyone could come in, could ask questions, I could post, and people could interact even with each other.
With you as well,
you know?
Directly.
Yes. So it literally drove itself. Basically, it grew itself, it drove itself, and we were just the ones making the products, the ones really pouring into making the time and talking to the ladies and asking questions and listening, because some ladies just literally needed us to listen. So yeah, it drove itself, it grew.
Yeah, and I must say, Guti, I commend you for what you did, because you didn't only keep it for yourself, but you helped other ladies. You and then you're also helping men, and you know, we're still on this mental health awareness month. I feel good to what you're doing. You're helping a lot of ladies. Do you understand? There are many, you know, when you are infertile or you're going through period pains and whatnot, that stress can cause a depression. And also you've got distributors, people who buy from you and go and sell, and you know, you've also helped them financially. Do you understand? So it was a financial a breakthrough for them in a way. Do you understand? So I must say, good, you did, and you are still playing a role in certain people that you've helped. They would have gone into depression, they would have gone into a serious mental illness, but because of what you're doing, you've really helped them.
You know, when we started really sitting down and answering these WhatsApp messages that were coming daily, when they started becoming 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, we realized that we were not just doing it for us. This little thing that we were thinking that we were starting to really change people's lives. Because the first person came, and the first lady who wanted to sell this, just by me explaining the product to her, she met me through her daughter. So her daughter wanted the product. So when I met up with her and I spoke to her, she said, But is it possible for me to sell it? Because when I listen to what you're saying, it will do into her body. I have a lot of colleagues, I have a lot of ladies I know that need that. So then from then on, we started having ladies that sell our product. And then the big wave hit us. It was not just something that we were doing in our community. Then I had someone who was in a different city. I had someone who was in a completely different province that had the product. So healing started literally just happening all over the place, just with one decision that I took to say, let me make something for this one lady that I know that's struggling with something, and it blew up on its own.
And do you think by you helping these ladies and them coming back with their issues, problems, also helped you to grow as a herbal specialist? Whatever that you know today, because they challenged you to know more, they challenged you to do more.
I had to really set out time. I was working a 9-to-5 while doing this, and it came to a point where I said, if I really want to focus on each and every person's issue as an individual, I need to know more. So I had to reinvest in myself. I had to learn. I had to go out and speak to people that have been doing this, whether it was just traditional healing, whether it was Chinese medicine. I had to now go sit down and speak to people. And I think the thing that made it easy was that my own doctor has a Chinese healing certificate, basically. So when you go to him, you choose how your treatment needs to be. So either through herbal medicine or Chinese healing, or you get your pharmaceutical drugs. So I had to really invest in myself so that I know how to help the next person. I had to go out and do research. I had to sit down and speak to different people and put it down, because your story will not be the next person's story, but you're both infertile.
Exactly.
Understand? So I had to now set out and say, I need to understand what each and every person is going through, and I have to treat each and every lady as a different case and a completely new clean slate. I need to start over from how your periods work. Do you feel the pain? And those things, it takes time for us to do that. So it really challenged me to grow, and it challenged me not to stay focused just on one thing, because I realized that we don't want to talk about it, but there's a whole lot of other things that factor in our health, and that affects our womb. And as women, everything that we get into our body, basically we process through our wombs. It all ends up there. So yeah, it did really challenge me to develop myself and to grow.
And then someone would ask, or someone who wouldn't trust this, how safe are they?
They are very safe. There's a reason why I'm saying very safe. If you think about it, you are taking something that you don't eat every day, but if you did, would give you the same effect. So in our diets, not everybody eats salad every day. Not everybody eats salad every day. So let's be honest. We're not getting these herbs in through food or through whatever. So the easiest way for me to get you to eat whatever that you need to get into your body to regulate you, I need to put that in a tea. So steaming your hot water, you can't really go sit over something that is physically burning you. So at some point you need to go, let me test the temperature. Then you sit over it. The herbs that we use, I have selected these herbs for this blend, so I know I'm not going to harm the next person. I know what the contraindications are, so I don't harm the next person. But I understand it's not everyone that does that. It's not everyone that puts the work into researching the herbs that we're using, but they're very safe because we have used them ourselves. And when I say ourselves, I mean my whole family. Everybody had to become a test subject at some point. So I know that they are very safe, and we grew rapid. So I had all kinds of people coming from all walks of life use our product, and I'm yet to find someone that says, I'm a mess now because of this, or I've messed up my hormones completely because of this. I'm yet to find that one person.
But I've seen great testimonies on the page.
Yes.
I doubt if there is any. If there was, I'm sure they would have came out long ago.
Yes. And what I like about having a Facebook page is anyone can go up and say, guys, I've used this but it hasn't helped me. And the few that we even had, we only to find out that they bought something from somebody else. And you know, this happens so often that the moment somebody says, but I've been using steaming herbs and nothing is changing, I know they didn't buy our product. And I deal in that in such a way that they know. So I will ask for specific things that I know you'll only be able to give them to me if you have my product.
Exactly.
If you don't have my product, then you will clearly see in the situation that, oh, okay, I bought from the wrong person.
Hey, back to what we said. Know your source.
Yes.
And then now, Lebo, you know, because these products are made out of herbs, and you know how most people are, they feel these are ungodly. I'm sure you've had cases like that where a wife, a girlfriend will come and say, I fought with my boyfriend because he says this thing is not godly. Why am I using this? And how do you deal with that?
You know, I normally take time and say to the lady, call me or I'll call you when you've got time, because we really need to think about this and we need to talk about this. Remember now, I'm trying to undo something that has been in someone's religion, that has been caused by someone's family upbringing, so many things. So let's do it simply. You ladies at home, let's do this with us.
Yes.
So who put the plants on the earth?
It's God, of course.
Who knows what each plant does?
God.
It's God, right? Who said that here's the garden, feed yourself from the garden? Who gave us all the freedom to use everything that's growing from the ground? It's God. So I'm going to ask you again, how is it that this God can create these plants and somehow they work against who he is? We people step in then and start using specific things and putting intentions on plants to harm the next person. But plants in themselves have got the power to heal. They've been given that. That's why we're supposed to do whatever, whether you ingest them as a tea or you eat them. You can't say they're ungodly because of whatever, or I don't know. People who say that these plants are ungodly are people who haven't used them, who've been literally just taken onto the wrong path by somebody else. So you heard someone else was harmed by using 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and you assume this is the same thing here. It doesn't work that way. So we are believers at WOMBHERBALS, and it's not just set on one way. I've got clients who have different religions. What I take them back to is God. He gave us the plants. I really have not heard a story of the devil coming to the world to plant. I've never heard of such a thing.
Maybe they say that because there are a lot of people who still use these plants, but for different reasons. But in your case now, you're using them to heal, not to kill, not to harm.
That's why we're saying intention. When I place an intention on something, it will do whatever that intention is. So our plants that we use, basically, you need to know me. When you know me, you understand that I put people's health first. I put my clients literally first. So I will not be building something that is big as this platform just so that I can come and harm people.
And build it to destroy it.
And build it to destroy it. Because the moment I harm you with my herbs, it's going to come back to me. Worse, it's going to come back to me. My followers will go away. Everybody will go, but I'm using this and it's harming me. I won't have comeback clients. So we need to look at the sources. We need to look at where we're buying our herbs from. If you can't really look at the person and say, I see that it has done good, how can you expect good from it?
Exactly. And I've got a lady that I know personally who used the steam. She just came back from an operation and she was declared a good tea. She'll never have kids. And she sends me a message and she says to me, and when she told me, hey, Nomsa, I bought the steam. I was like, okay, as much as you bought it, as a steam, pray. Do you understand? She comes back to me and says, Nomsa, I'm pregnant. I was so happy. I was like, you know what? God did it through these herbs.
Yes.
Do you understand? Because it's His creation,
Yes.
you know. And then our body responds differently.
Yes.
And I'm sure you've got a lot of these cases as well. Our bodies respond differently because the damage is not the same. Do you understand? And then you'll get somebody who will buy it just for a month, and then because they're expecting a quick
results.
fix, immediate results, and when that doesn't happen, they stop using. Even if the pack is not finished, they stop using, and they're saying, this thing doesn't work, do you understand? And obviously word of mouth is very powerful, and it would end up discouraging the next person who wants to start, or the person who's already in the process, in the healing process. What do you have to say to those people? Because people are very impatient. They want quick fix. Do you understand? And I feel they think this is magic. What do you have to say?
You know, I've had quite a few cases that someone was saying, but I've used the herbs and nothing has happened. And then my next question would be, so how do you use the herbs? Then whatever they're doing would literally contradict what I said. And I'll be like, let's work back. This is why this is happening, because you're using them in this way. But if you had stuck to how I said you must use them, you would by now have received results. It's not magic. There's ladies who fall pregnant in the first month of using the product. There's ladies that take 3 months. There's ladies that take 12 months. It depends on what your body has gone through. So all of our bodies have gone through trauma on different levels. That's not, you can't expect to, so let me give you an example. If I have been raped, right? And in that, I went to a hospital at some point, anything can happen. Now you need to check that there's trauma because of the rape. Now you find someone who finds out that they've conceived. They now need to go do an abortion. They scrape and they clean you. That lady, you cannot treat that lady like someone who says, you know what, I've never used contraceptives in my life. I've never had any trauma. I'm just, this is me. I get my period every month, but somehow I'm just not falling pregnant. When that lady comes to you, you can't treat them the same as this one. This one has got more trauma. There's literally physical hurt that happened in that body. Mental. And mental, you know, we take this trauma and say, it's something I went through, it's in my mind. No. Your body holds on to that. So you can't treat those people the same. So people need to really just give themselves time to heal. We don't do that. We expect something to happen like that. It's not, there are no chemicals in the herbs. Even when they're grown, they're not sprayed with chemicals. So we can't treat them or expect them to work like tablets. Drugs work completely differently. They get into your body and they change whatever they need to change. If it's blocking pain receptors, they do that. Herbs work differently. Herbs take time to search and do an overall scan of the body. What's going on? I need to change this. I need to change that. And while they're doing that and they're working with your body, you feel the changes and you heal. What I like to say to people is that herbs literally don't just add on to what you have in your body. They merge with your body. Why? You are both from the ground. God made a human being and everything that's alive to work with each other. That's why plants are as brilliant as they are. They don't just, when I give you womb tea or you use the steaming herbs, they don't go, okay, but now there's not much of the estrogen, let's just plump up this. No. There is no estrogen in the herbs. They use your body to realign itself. They help it realign everything.
It's more like they take it back to factory setting.
Yes. That's what they do. That's what they do. So it's very brilliant. I love what we do because I understand that with time comes healing. When the herbs are there, we stimulate your body. We really give it the support that it needs, that it's not getting from daily food. And I'm not putting anything that's foreign in your body.
And don't you think, and obviously if somebody is looking for quick results and they don't find it with WOMBHERBALS, obviously they'll go to the next thing and next. Don't you think that it's damaging them more?
It is. Let me tell you why. Each and every herb has got its own function. So if you take my blend, to give you an example, in our general blend, there's 19 different herbs. Then you find someone else, they've got maybe 6 or 7. Already there, the strength tells you that there's a difference. One is more stronger than the other. So this one comes in, completely different setup, changes what this one was doing, right? Then you go, oh, but this one is also not helping me. But there are changes in your body, you just haven't noticed them yet. But you end up making your body work against itself. This one is boosting me by maybe boosting my fertility. Then this one was meant to cleanse me before it boosts my fertility. Now there's a whole mixture in the body, and the body just goes, because you're giving it herbs. So we're stimulating different parts of the body at the same time, where we really have a way of working with the body, and it matters. A lot of people don't know, but it matters. Our measurement matters. How much of what I put in my blend matters. And I'm afraid that we've had incidents of people just steaming and bleeding, then calling us and saying, guys, your herbs did 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3, and that's when I go, but you're not using mine, you're using this person's, and that means that their measurement is not right. So I'll give you mine and I'll regulate your bleeding, where somebody else would give you herbs and you'll just start bleeding.
Thank you so much. That was very insightful.
Thank you so much for watching part 1 of our conversation with Lebo. Please watch the next video where she'll be explaining the products.